All right, so the best way I've found to teach while loops is typically to go back and reference the if statement that we learned when we were talking about selection. So let's say we have something that we are trying to make a guess about. Or something we're trying to check. In this case, let's say that we've got the user who's entering in a password. So we'll say, let my pass, let the entered password equal prompt. What is the password? And then let's create just a hard-coded password. We'll say let correct password equal um, hello. So when they've entered that prompt, maybe we want to welcome them to the system if they get the right password. So we could say if the entered password is exactly the same as the correct password, then alert, welcome to the system. And then else, alert, wrong password. Well, wait a minute. If they get the wrong password, we probably do want to give them a second attempt. I mean, can you imagine if you tried to log into your bank and you got one attempt? And if you ever got the password wrong, you were never getting in. That'd probably be pretty bad. So you probably want to give them a couple of attempts. Um, so I mean, we could copy the code and paste it. And generally, you get several attempts, so we could copy the code and paste it. But now we've copied and pasted code. So what happens when we need to change it from saying wrong password to wrong password, please try again? Now I'd have to change it in every single spot that I just copied it. And then sometimes, unlike a password where you probably want to limit the number of times someone can attempt to enter the password, there are some things that you want to keep going. For example, let's say you're making a deposit into the bank and you have a bunch of checks. I will have no idea how many checks you have, but I need the system to keep asking you, do you want to deposit another check while you still have checks? Um, and that need to continually run something over and over when we don't know how many times to run it is why we would use a while loop. So I'm going to show you how we could rewrite this password logic to use a while loop so we're not duplicating code. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the keyword while. I'm going to say while the entered password is not the same as the correct password. And then I'm going to put curly braces so I can have a code block that will repeat. Anytime the correct password and the entered password are not the same, this code block will repeat. So maybe we want to say alert, wrong password, try again. And then this will keep going until they enter the right password. Some of you may have noticed that there's a problem with this code, um, but I like to demonstrate my computer crashing. So um, we're going to run this anyway. Um, okay, so it says, what is the password? And I'm going to type gibberish and I'm going to hit OK. And it says, wrong password, please try again. Wrong password, please try again. Wrong password, please try again. And we are actually stuck in a never-ending loop. A never-ending loop of being told the wrong password because we've never given ourselves a way to exit the loop. If we come back over to our Visual Studio Code, we said that the entered password, as long as it was not the same as the correct password, alert this. But we never gave them a chance to re-enter their password. So what we've entered is what I like to call a really long loop, but other people like to call it an infinite loop. I have yet to see a loop that's still running, so that doesn't really meet the definition of infinite for me. But technically speaking, this is called an infinite loop. So we need this to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill my server and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kill the tab and I'm going to come back over to Visual Studio Code and I'm going to add in a way for this loop to end. So we're going to say entered password. So if they're not the same, then we need to alert them that it's the wrong password. And then we'll say entered password equals prompt. Please try again. So now we'll save this. Now there is a way for our loop to end. We don't know how many times they'll enter the wrong password because they could enter the wrong password as many times as we want, and this while loop will keep running. But as soon as they enter the right password, meaning entered password and correct password are equal, then this condition is no longer true, and so it will skip out of the while loop and the while loop will end. So just to prove that to you, I'll need to hit my go live button. And it says, what is the password? And I'll enter gibberish. And it says, wrong password, please try again. What is the password? Enter gibberish. Wrong password, please try again. And then it says, please try again. And here I'm going to enter hello and hit enter. And the loop ended. We were successfully able to end the loop. So coming back over to our Visual Studio Code, we can see that this while loop will repeat as long as this condition is met. And then once it's done, then it will exit. So the only way to exit this while loop right now is if the entered password is equal to the correct password. So what I could do here is I could say, alert, welcome to the system, and then save that. So if we come back over here, it says, what is the password? Gibberish, wrong password, please try again. Wrong password, please try again. Wrong password, please try again. Now we'll enter the correct one, and it'll say, welcome to the system. And so that is how a while loop works. It evaluates a condition just like an if statement evaluates a condition. If the condition is true, then it drops into the loop and runs it, and then it reevaluates the condition. And so as long as you've created a way to exit the loop, then there will be a way, then you won't run into infinite loops. So you always want to make sure you've got a way to exit your loop. This loop will continue to run as long as the password's not the same as the correct password. Once it is the same, it'll exit and it'll alert welcome to the system. And that is the syntax for a while loop.